Welcome back to Weather on the Go, all your weather coverage. In today's weather forecast, I'll be going over the severe weather that is likely today across the Great Lakes all the way to the Gulf Coast, with all modes of severe weather likely, including tornadoes. Then we'll look ahead to your Easter weekend forecast, your temperature and precipitation trends through this upcoming weekend, and then a big time spring warm up into the middle of April where temperatures could be soaring into the 80s across the country. We'll answer those questions later on in this video. If you guys are not yet subscribed to the YouTube channel, be sure to hit the subscribe button down below. I cover southern Canada, the United States, and the tropics during tropical weather season. You get all of my daily weather forecast updates each and every morning on this channel at 9 a.m. So be sure to press the subscribe button and don't forget to press the like button, the thumbs up button down below the video. It definitely helps to get as many people as possible to watch this video the more likes we get. So I definitely appreciate all the new subscribers and all the likes here on my video. But going back to yesterday, a fairly busy day with severe weather from the western Great Lakes all the way toward the Missouri Valley. We had several tornado reports, in fact, 9 tornado reports from yesterday, 29 wind reports with 153 hail reports, and we also had a total of 191 severe weather reports from yesterday, ranging from southwestern lower Michigan, southern Wisconsin, northern Illinois, with lots of hail reports. I know there's a lot of hail damage across those areas, even into eastern Iowa, lots of hail damage, and then going down into Missouri toward the Kansas City region, there's been reports of lots of hail damage going back to yesterday. So definitely a busy day, and we expect that to continue as we head into today. From this morning into the afternoon and even tonight, we have a slight to even an enhanced risk for severe weather. This is a level 3 of 5 in the orange. This covers the Detroit area, back into Kalamazoo, Grand Rapids, getting down through Indianapolis, Chicago, getting into portions here of Paducah, Kentucky, Toledo, Ohio, getting into the Chillicothe region, Columbus, getting back down into portions of Kentucky here into the Lexington region, Nashville, Tennessee, Memphis, Tennessee, Jonesboro, Arkansas. Those are the areas at higher risk for severe storms later on today. But in general, that severe risk follows us all the way down and toward the Houston Metroplex and the eastern side of the Dallas-Fort Worth Metroplex going in toward this afternoon and evening. Looking at the hazards here, we have the chance for some damaging winds across much of the Ohio Valley, down through the Tennessee Valley here, and into the Gulf Coast toward the coastal Texas regions. Could be seeing wind gusts of 60, perhaps 70 miles per hour. And then we look at the large hail chance here. We have that 30% hatched risk for hail across central and southern lower Michigan, eastern Illinois, north central Indiana, and far northwestern Ohio here. These areas could be seeing some hailstones over 2 inches in diameter, but in general, a large zone of some at least quarter-size hail is possible outside of that, going all the way back down here into coastal Texas and Louisiana. And we have a pretty significant tornado probability today. We have a 10% hatched risk for tornadoes around the Detroit area, getting down into Toledo, Indianapolis, Fort Wayne, Gary, and South Bend, Indiana, and then getting into the Champaign-Urbana area in toward eastern Illinois. A couple of these areas, we could be seeing a strong tornado or two throughout the day, so want to be on high alert there. But even again, outside of that, in these green or brown shaded colors, that's at least a 2 to 5% shading for tornadoes that goes down here through Nashville, Lexington, Kentucky, the Paducah area, getting down in toward Little Rock, Memphis, Jackson, Mississippi here, and then as far south as even the Shreveport area into Louisiana. Definitely want to be on high alert. And the reason why we see this, we have the cold front surging east. Behind the cold front, we got cooler temperatures. Ahead of the front, temperatures already this morning into the 60s, 70s. We'll even be warming up into the 80s across the lower Ohio Valley today. And with a deep moisture reservoir still ahead of that front and across portions of the Ohio Valley, Great Lakes, all the way south to the Gulf of Mexico, we're going to have plenty of energy in place for severe storms. And we have to look at the mid-level jet stream. This is creating some shear in the mid-levels of the atmosphere where we could have some supercells develop pretty strong up here into the Great Lakes and Ohio Valley especially. and then kind of backing off a little bit to more moderate levels of wind shear across the deep south and the coastal regions. But still, nevertheless, we still have a very strong low-level jet in the 700 millibar layer, definitely screaming out of the south and west. So we got the speed shear and we got the energy in place for some severe weather. So looking at this, we got a decent squall line going through this morning in toward the noon time frame here from Detroit down through the Indianapolis region, Paducah, Kentucky, and as far southwest here as the Little Rock region. There could also be some storms toward the noon time frame trying to fire up there in East Texas. They will probably struggle to do so, but we'll continue to watch that. Going through this evening, the squall line will be slow moving, but it also will start to fall apart toward the 6 o'clock time frame. I do think down across the southernmost regions, so the western Tennessee Valley, the Arklatex region, that's where we're going to have more of an instability reservoir down in this region. So places like coastal Texas, Louisiana, Mississippi, on up into western and middle Tennessee, you can see the brighter colors representing 2,000 plus cape of energy. This is convective available potential energy. You need this for thunderstorms, and you see farther to the north, we really don't have that. So I think we kind of eat away at the thunderstorm chances and kind of go more towards showers up here across portions of the Ohio Valley. And then some stronger storms still well after dark across portions of the Tennessee Valley and the Arklatex. Do have to watch out for some spin-up tornadoes, damaging winds, and large hail. That continues through the Thursday morning commute. So again, this doesn't really move much. The cold front is starting to slow down here across parts of the Ohio Valley, the Tennessee Valley, and the Deep South, and that will lead us to maybe some flooding concerns. You see that cold front moving across portions of the Mid-Atlantic, the Tennessee Valley, all the way south here to the Gulf Coast. And again, we have that low-end threat for severe weather across the Mid-Atlantic here from southern New Jersey, Maryland, southeastern Pennsylvania, down through portions of Virginia, North Carolina there, and then a secondary area down near the Rio Grande Valley into south central Texas, including the San Antonio region as we go through the Thursday time frame. That's mainly going to be for some large hail. So again, you have that cold front there. We're going to be watching for some heavy rain, especially with repeated rounds of showers and storms over these areas. But we're also going to be watching out for some marginally strong to severe storms across the Mid-Atlantic here, and then more coverage of showers and storms down into the Rio Grande Valley and coastal Texas. We'll have to watch for some stronger storms through Thursday evening. And looking at the total rainfall accumulation, so from now this morning all the way through Thursday morning, a decent narrow stripe of some heavy rain here right along that frontal boundary as it slowly meanders off to the east and southeast. We could be seeing some decent rains across the Nashville area, Memphis, Tennessee, northern Mississippi, getting down into portions of the Shreveport, Monroe, Louisiana areas, and then getting down toward coastal Texas here. We could be easily seeing 1 to 2 inches worth of rain during that period. That raises the alarm for potentially some flash flooding. Here we have a slight risk for flash flooding from the lower Ohio River Valley through the Tennessee Valley and then into the Arklatex regions today into Thursday. This doesn't move much as we go into Thursday. So Thursday into Friday, additionally, some heavy rainfall down here into southeast Texas, through portions of Louisiana into Mississippi, even middle Tennessee here. A lot of these areas could be seeing an additional 1 to 3 inches of rain, with the heaviest amounts down here near Houston, portions of the Austin region, and getting down here towards San Antonio. So we'll continue to watch that as we go through that Thursday, Friday time frame. And that's where we're going to see that slight risk for some flash flooding across southeast Texas into west central Louisiana going during that Thursday, Friday time frame. And then again, Friday into Saturday, that cold front moves very slowly. So we're going to have another opportunity for a widespread area of 1 to 2 inches of rain from portions of the Carolinas through Georgia here, Alabama, Mississippi, back through Louisiana and coastal Texas again, including the Houston area up there toward Tyler, Texas, Jackson, Mississippi, Atlanta, Georgia, the Raleigh region here, even Columbia in South Carolina, definitely seeing that Friday into Saturday. And again, a narrow stripe of a marginal to slight risk for flash flooding across the deep south as we get towards this Easter weekend. So during that period, the total rainfall accumulation now through Saturday, opening up our Easter weekend, we definitely have some widespread 2 to 5 inches, maybe some 6-inch amounts of rainfall, especially being found toward portions of East Texas, getting into northern Louisiana and central Mississippi. So that will be something we'll have to keep an eye on. But farther to the north, the current weather alerts, we still have the winter weather headlines. We have the winter weather advisories in purple here We got the blizzard warnings in the orange and also the winter storm warnings up here in northern portions of Minnesota, where we expect some additional snowfall accumulation, but it's really all about the wind on the backside. So we already have the strong winds in place across the northern plains this morning, sustained out of the north and west at 10 to 20 miles per hour. Those will increase into this afternoon. We'll see some even stronger surface winds moving out of the north and west here at 20 to 30 miles per hour sustained. And that's where we're going to start to see more of these gusty winds. Wind gusts could be up to 50 miles per hour across the Dakotas into western Minnesota getting through this afternoon. And then as we get into tonight, we'll calm the winds down as that low pressure system quickly starts to lift into southeastern Canada, and that pressure gradient starts to lift farther to the north and east as well. But additional snowfall accumulation now through Friday morning. Definitely seeing some areas where we could see up to 6 inches more of additional snowfall across northeastern North Dakota, northern portions of Minnesota, and then crossing into Manitoba and western Ontario into the southern Canadian provinces. Starting to see some more active snowfall there. But as we go into this Easter weekend, a preview here on Saturday, April 8th, we see that stationary boundary, that slow moving cold front will finally make it to the Gulf Coast. We have some active times down here across the Carolinas, Georgia, Alabama, and Mississippi. The middle of the country, high pressure working in. So a lot of sunshine here across the plains, getting into the Midwest, the Northeast, and portions of the Rockies. And then our next storm system taking aim on the Pacific Northwest with some rain showers up here, Washington State, Oregon, Northern California, portions of Idaho there. On Saturday, looking at your high temperatures, does look pretty spring-like as well. So a lot of 70s out here across portions of the Great Plains, getting into the Midwest here with the 60s. So definitely get outside and enjoy the warm weather. And even Easter Sunday itself, we got lots of high pressure here. We're going to be hard-pressed to see any rainfall or precipitation unless you live on either side of the country here, the Pacific Northwest or the Southeast. Anywhere in between, lots of sunshine and lots of warm temperatures as well, with temperatures in the 70s and 80s. So definitely get outside, run, walk the dog, do anything. Get outside and enjoy the nice fresh air here this Easter weekend. And even as we get beyond Easter, the promise is there for some much above average temperatures across the Midwest and the Central Plains and really much of the eastern two-thirds of the country towards that 14th of April timeframe, and it also has some staying power. So that ridge of high pressure will be there across the eastern two-thirds of the country, likely through April 18th, and then we'll start to see a trough start to eject across portions of the western United States towards the Great Plains by the third week in April. But beyond then, again, we'll have an active pattern return. But during that period, we will see some warmer temperatures, and this could be conservative. You can see all the 60s, 70s across the middle of the country on Monday, the 10th of April. That spreads farther north. We could have some 60s, 70s up there into the Toronto region, portions of the Northeast, the Mid-Atlantic, even some 90s possibly there into portions of western Kansas, western Oklahoma, the Texas Panhandle, eastern New Mexico here, especially in those drought-stricken areas. Definitely with drier ground, you will warm up a lot more robustly next week. And then again, late next week on Friday, April 14th, we'll continue with the warmer than normal temperatures all the way across the eastern two-thirds of the country. It will be hard to not find any 70s and 80s out here. And again, the trough moving in out west toward the middle of the month will promote some cooler temperatures during that period. Also, with the warmer temperatures, we have to be concerned with our snowpack. We have a deep snowpack up here. Again, we've had several winter storms up into the upper Midwest, northern plains this winter. We still have a deep snowpack up here, especially into South Dakota, North Dakota, Minnesota, and northern Wisconsin, even stretching over to the UP of Michigan here. Of course, we got all the snow back into the Rocky Mountains and the Sierras back here as well. And going toward Easter Sunday, we start to chip away and melt at some of the snowpack during that time frame, and it really starts to melt as we get toward the latter half of next week, towards the middle of April, and you see all that will be running off. So we have to concern ourselves about some river flooding potential towards the middle and late end here of April. So we'll have to watch that with some moderate to major flooding up here into portions of Wisconsin, into the northeastern Iowa, on the Mississippi River, And then more of that minor to moderate flooding across portions of western Illinois there, Missouri, getting down toward the Memphis region as we go through that middle and end of April. But then again, looking at the precipitation outlook, it does look pretty dry. Again, under that ridge of high pressure, you got a lot of sinking air, so you're not going to see any rising air, not a lot of clouds. You're not going to see a lot of precipitation, so it'll be below normal. We got that trough coming in toward the middle of the month around the 13th, 14th time frame. We're going to start to see more above average precipitation across the Pacific Northwest, and then that will spread eastward as we start to end that pattern towards the third week in April, but again, still below normal precipitation across much of the eastern United States here, going right straight through April 18th. Well, thank you guys so much for watching. I definitely appreciate it. Remember to like the video down below, give it a thumbs up, leave any comments, questions, and concerns below. I'll get to those later on today. Subscribe to the YouTube channel if you're new, and hit the notification bell to get all of my daily weather forecast updates on this channel. Have a great Wednesday, everybody, a great rest of your weekend, and I'll see you all in the next video.